man don't know shit. I might not know shit, but I know enough. I might not know shit, but I know enough. You might call me dumb, but I have a lot of fun. I might not know shit, but I know enough. All right, episode 29 already. I think it's episode 29. Time's just flying by. I'm super excited this afternoon. I get to hang out with my brother, my pal, Mr. Mike G. Mike Gasseldorfer plays with two stomp bands, the Beatdown and BOIDS, both incredible bands. Check them both out. And so I guess today we're going to be talking about drums, and life, of course. And yeah, man. So look, don't forget there's the PayPal link underneath this video. That's for tips and the Be a Producer program. Any tip, whether it's 50 cents, $1 or more, and you become the producer of the next episode. That's a straight up community style support, DIY, no ads, right? That's how we like it. So, all that being said and done, this episode is brought to you by Mr. Sean Ryan. Thanks, Sean. Boom. You guys will remember Sean. He was on the show a while back. He's a bass player in the band The Mahones. Still awesome. And yeah, don't forget to punch the shit out of that subscribe button, slap that bell, and let's get it on. Here we go.
That's the shades.
Shit, I'm dropping wine. I'm fucking, holy shit. I almost busted a bottle of wine. My brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
You know what? Now that I see your beautiful mug, I'm feeling a lot better already.
Cheers.
Just making messes. Yeah, man, absolutely.
Cheers, man.
My brother Stu gave me this flask, the Cayman flask.
What's
up with the little mustache there? What's going on with that?
This is awful. Look at this thing.
Dude, you can do a lot of things, but you can't grow a fucking mustache.
This is 9 months. This is 9 months, man.
That's fucking awesome. How you doing, man? You hanging in there?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. Absolutely.
What are you drinking?
I got a little amaretto.
Ooh.
Little amaretto phase with a little bit of scotch.
Yeah. No, I'm doing all right, too. I just smoked a spliff. I got a little Jamie in here. Got a little something here. You know, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Hey, it's a fucking pandemic. What else are you supposed to do? Don't judge me.
No judgment.
Fuck no, man. You're hanging out with family. How's everybody doing?
Family's good. Lots of time with my boy. And that's new and crazy.
Well, I saw a video somewhere, I think, of your boy already beating on some skins.
Oh, yeah. He's singing songs. He's like, yeah, he's hitting the drums a little bit. I'm like, no, you don't want any of this, man. You don't want this, man.
Your poor lady, man. She's fighting a losing battle because that kid's going to be so musical just like the rest of your family, I'm sure.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun, man. Ultimately, it's fun. Music's fun, you know?
Yeah, man. Well, see, this is one of the upsides of the pandemic, too. I mean, here you are able to spend all kinds of time with your new boy, you know, and a lot in other contexts, you might not even have that time. So it's kind of precious as well, right?
It's massive. There's challenging days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm a new parent, man. So it's like, oh yeah, the terrible twos. And then like, no one told you about the fucking fours, man.
Right. Yeah, I saw you in the bar last year. What about those days?
Fuck, man. It's like, I thought after 2, it like chills out for some crazy reason. I was like, no,
man. The handbook is wrong.
Yeah, that is fucking off, man. That shit is off.
I'm so happy to have you on the show because I don't know why. I have all these bass players and guitar players on here all the time, but I never had a drummer on here. So I figured if I want to have somebody, you know, for the drums, you are the man. I mean, Mike, you're playing, I don't know how you find the time for this, but you're playing full time with the BOIDS. You have the Beatdown. You're also playing, and I've always played with all kinds of other people. And I think I don't know if you're still teaching drums or not, but you've done a lot of that as well.
Done a lot of that as well. Yeah, teaching was fun too. Not so much right now. A little bit. I had a few students recently, but always music. Yeah, it's there, man. It's there. I'm so happy to play in those bands and fucking, yeah, it's just so much fun.
You know, it's so many people, you know, just to be successful with one band, I can't believe it. But you're successful in two bands right now. And like, I mean, you played with the Kingpins as well, and there's success there as well. And I've seen you play with Lolo and the Magnetics and different bands as well. You know, I was thinking back to probably the first time we ever met. And that's why I'm talking about all the different bands you played. Do you remember when we met?
I'm gonna wait. I might know, man. But it's probably not. But I found this fucking thing.
Oh, shit.
Was it April 5th, 2003 at Licks?
Oh my God, that's going way the hell back.
Woo,
Holy
trip
shit.
the off Kingpins.
Man,
I know when we
got
met.
a trip you off tattoo right here on my forearm still.
Yeah. Okay, so when did we meet? I know when we met. I was just fucking around with that because I pulled it out. I'm like, hey, man's got to see this. We met at an audition.
That's right. Yep.
I was auditioning for Trip the Off, like year 2000, maybe 99, 2000, 2001 or something.
That makes sense.
Cheyenne was on bass. You were there. I don't remember anything else. I played drums at the same, like right that before then I had auditioned for General Rudy.
I have a feeling that I really wasn't sober that day.
I'll double down on that, man.
Because the reason I say that, there is a story behind this, is you're probably one of the absolute best drummers I've ever met in my life.
Well, that's very kind. Thank you so much.
And I mean that just because we've played music lots of times since then together, you know. And but I remember, and this is why I say that I really probably was not sober that day, because at that point we had auditioned a few people. All right. And I remember, you know, after a while there, and like, you know, we're drinking heavily and doing all kinds of other things you probably shouldn't do. I remember it just didn't click for some reason at that point, right? And I can't remember if I called you back or not.
You called me back.
I did. Fuck, I'm a gentleman.
You called me 2 days later at my mom's house, but the thing is, I had done that General Rudy audition. They said, you got it. I think it was after, and they're like, you got it. And then you called me 2 days later, and you're like, yeah, man, you're in. And I was like, so that was my. You called
I'm happy
my
to
mom.
hear that, because in my head, we didn't take you, but now I know the truth.
You know, you called me and said I'm in, and it was like I can't, because I committed to General Rudy at that time. You know, I wasn't playing in many bands, or I didn't know about that, and like, you know.
I just had Renee on the Renee from the Brains on the show last week.
Oh yeah,
and he was talking about how in the rockabilly scene everything's so incestuous, and everybody's playing different bands, well, ska bands too, right? So
holy
yeah,
like, oh my God, it's all like this circle of stuff, you know.
But there is a good reason for that. I was thinking about that whole thing, because usually I try not to be a part of that. In fact, if somebody in my band wanted to play in two bands, I probably just wouldn't play with them, because I'm a big fan of, like, if somebody is a fan or identifies with a band. I mean, one of the things you're selling as a band is that, and this is not true for anybody listening out there, this is a real thing. I'm very aware of the concept that when you're selling a band, people watching you have this image in their head. And this is where the non-truth is. The image in their head is that these people that I'm watching right now, this is their life. This is their everything. They are the most close brothers in the world at all times, and this is their entire life.
For sure.
We know that's not really true, but that's what you're selling. And I always had a hard time with, like, you know, being in a band, and then if one of your members is in another band in the same scene or whatever, you're really affecting what you're selling.
Well, that happened to me right away, because shortly after Joe Rudy, I joined the Kingpins, because Lorraine heard me playing, and I would like to have you play drums. So like the beginning when I was starting up, a lot of people thought like, oh, this Kingpins, he's not the original drummer. And I felt that from people. There was also people that were supportive, but it's like, I never came in to kick someone out or something. The band had come in, got to a certain point, didn't work out for whatever reason. Like Boom Boom's the original guy. And then some people saw me like, fuck, who's this fucking kid trying? And I'm like, man, I didn't know. Lorraine was just like, do you want to play show? My first show with Kingpins was the Warp Tour at like 22 years old. So I basically go from my mom's basement to music school to like some General Rudy gigs. And then I'm playing Warp Tour for like fucking 3,000 people. I don't know what the fuck. I didn't try. Do you want to play this? Yeah, I want to play this. Fuck. Do you want to go to Europe? Yeah. So there were people that were actually probably agitated by it. And that was not my intention, but I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. And it's a non-truth for sure. But I understand I understand being in a band too. Like Boyd's, we're in there. It's 10 years we're playing together, and you know, we have that identity, and I get that a bit more now. And it's not an identity we're trying to sell. It's just these are the people we're comfortable with, and it feels we work with that thing and we like it.
Well, that's it.
Beatdown-
And the fact that it's cool too, because it's not the same scene or the same style of music, you know. And what I was really getting at, though, the
Yeah.
really cool thing in this is what I see why. Because there's a limited amount of musicians that do this type of stuff really well.
Yes.
So, of course, everybody wants to work with the best, right? You know, it's much easier. Like, I have this one thing that I always tell band members that I play with is that a band is never better than the drummer.
For sure.
It's impossible to be better than the level the drummer is at, because no matter how good of a musician you are, that's still the beat.
There's definitely some truth to that.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
It's something I preach all the time, because like,
Definitely.
well, you know me, no matter who I'm playing with, they end up sounding like, you know, the sound I'm going after, you know?
For sure.
And but I have these realizations, you know, and they're all important, whether it's to the left or right, but it's something I feel very strongly about. And why I've written a lot of songs way back in the day when I was playing with Stu, my brother, right? And even just drum and guitar as a songwriter, I really like working with drummers, you know. And here you are, when I say one of the best, like, fucking mind-blowing. I love hearing. I remember when you played with what's his name, with the low voice there, guy.
Oh, Bones
But yeah,
Malone?
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
and
Bones.
your little stripped down kit that I don't remember what you had exactly.
I was playing mostly with like fucking weird oddball percussion with him, like
Yeah.
gongs and fucking beer bottles and all kinds of trinkets and shit. But it was like, yeah, I wanted to play that kind of out shit, and I could. It's like, oh, there's an outlet for that, right?
Yeah.
Because I've never just been, you know, ska.
Mhm.
I didn't grow up with ska. You know, reggae was my gateway to ska.
Yeah.
So
No,
then
it
it's like
makes perfect sense.
So then you're like a kid and like, oh, you're just a ska guy. But it's like, wait, no, what the fuck are you talking about? I like to do that crazy shit over there.
And don't you love it when somebody ever says like, "Oh, you're just something"? Isn't that like usually the point when you want to give them a fucking elbow? You know what I mean? You're just.
It bothered me so much when I was younger because I'm a metal kid.
Yeah.
I'm a metal
me too,
kid.
Man. Absolutely.
I grew up on metal. I had long hair. I was into Metallica, but I was also into Bob Marley. That was my entry.
Yeah.
And then, so I'd play metal all day. And then guess what? I'd also chill out. Maybe I don't know if I do that. Yeah. You know, and then play some reggae. So it's
always ready, man. Always ready.
There you go. So it's like, it was like metal and then reggae. And that groove, like it just hit me. The reggae groove hit me. But most people get in through reggae. They don't get in through ska, at least in my opinion, and from like talking to a lot of people. So when someone came up to me, like, "Oh, you ska," I was like, "Fuck, okay, yeah, I'm ska." It used to bother me. Now I don't give a fuck because I actually love the music. I'm full circle with it.
Well, you know, and that's what comes down to is, you know, it's just fucking the love of music and the love of playing music, you know, and all kind of things like that. The really cool thing about the Bones Malone thing, that was my first chance seeing you, where I saw like the creative side that you have. And this is something I want to touch on, because today you're playing in Boids. And as far as punk rock goes, the one thing that I love about those albums is what a creative fucking band. I mean, Andy, Patrizio, and yourself are three extremely creative people. And it's one of the first modern punk bands that I like, because I'm not a fan. Like, I mean, it's hard to say I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of rock and roll and I get into it.
Fan of, you know, yeah, for sure, man.
Like I listen to Bad Religion and stuff, and I fucking love them. But at the end of the day, even rhythm-wise, maybe a little bit of wah guitar, little bit of leads, all the chords are the whole way through, and that's cool. It's what it is. But you guys are bringing it back almost like late 70s, early 80s. I would say probably even more early 80s punk, where it was starting to be more creative. Man, these albums you guys are putting out are fucking mind-blowing. I love it.
Wow, that's so nice. That's so nice.
True.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool to hear, I would say. But yeah, I think that's it. We get together and we talk about these things. We're all, look, man, we're music nerds. I didn't grow up in the alleys and all this shit. I'm a bit of a music geek. I understand all that stuff. I respect all it. That's the beautiful thing about these scenes. All these people come out, you know. Some people are you know, gutter punk. Some people are nerds. Some people are there. Like, what the fuck? Let's go, everybody. Come on, let's just put down this shit, these walls, and like, that's my feeling. Let's be creative. So the creative process is fun, you know. Yeah. We don't want to write and be like. I remember that with the ska world too. It's like going to those shows in Europe when you're young, and there's a bunch of skinheads. And I had no idea about this skinhead culture. For me, a skinhead was a certain thing and only one thing. You know, there's the right, there's the left. And so we'd be playing ska. And I'd be at these squats in Switzerland. There's a wall of skins in front. And like slowly, they're like, you know, and slowly would unravel. And I'm like, this is great, man. This is like, what is that? You know, and everyone's, you know, anti-racism and all these beautiful things. And those are all amazing things. But then when it comes down to the music, sometimes like, well, it's got to be that. So you're so free in these thoughts and everything's accepted and it should be, but then the music's got to be like this. That fucking makes no sense to me. Yeah. At least to me. So I get what you're saying. And I like that. And that doesn't mean whatever BOIDS or whatever, like we're breaking down the wall completely, but we do like that creative fun side of it. Where,
no,
you know,
I'm happy to hear that. And you are so right. Like nothing bothers me more than purists of any form. Man. I'm not even talking ska, reggae. I'm talking purists in general. As a mentality, I don't like the mentality. Same way I don't like flag wavers. I ain't no fucking flag waver. You know what I mean? But purists, it's like somebody invents something one day. They didn't want everybody else to be doing or copying or doing exactly the same thing. Music is meant to travel. It is meant to evolve. It is meant to have different flavors. And that's the fun of it, especially in ska scenes. I find that a lot. Like, you know, there's some people that I love, you know, that live in Ottawa and that I love greatly and dearly, but it's all about the purists all the time. I don't fucking chase the past.
Well, I hear you. I'm in that, you know. Mm-hmm. It comes for it's the love of the music and that's it. And all the other, so, you know, you can find yourself in those scenes and it's just like, what the hell? How come everything else is accepted everywhere and then this has to be this? Fuck, it doesn't make any sense to me. But at the same
one of the reasons I had a hard time starting up is because I was always trying to do things way different. You know what I mean? And then it gets to the point like, oh, you're not one of us. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, well, that's your attitude. I don't want to fucking be one of you anyway. You know?
That's it.
But coming back to the BOIDS, man, I listened to the last couple of albums there, and all the influences are so clear. You know what I mean? Like, I love the way you guys are bringing in like 50s doo-wop into the punk and different things like this. And it's fucking beautiful. What's the songwriting process? I mean, here you are, three very strong character and, you know, inventive musicians in one band. How does the songwriting process in a band like that work out?
Yeah, interesting. Great question too for like all bands, right? How does it work? But it kind of changes album to album. Like for the first album, like the way we met basically is we're outside of like a dub or a reggae rehearsal. And we're like, hey, we all want to play in a loud band. We need to have that thing. That's how it started. First album was pretty much written fast. Andy had a ton of stuff that he had. So like a lot of the songs were really written, like the bulk of the songs were done lyrically. And then we put our touch on it. And of course we refined the music a bit, but like a lot of the blueprint was done. Mm-hmm. So it came out pretty fast. We recorded with Renee. De La Muerte, super fun.
He was on the last episode.
Yeah, so really fun experience, and he got it to sound really nice, and that came out really, you know, there was a bit of anger in there and stuff that we wanted to play, because we're like, you know, playing a lot of reggae and ska and all that great stuff, but it's like, no, we all wanted that. It was all right in our soul. So that was the first album. Second album is like, okay, then you get some touring with that stuff, and then it was like, that one was like a bit more rushed. We felt like we had to do that album, and it came together fast. A lot of blueprints again from Andy, Pat, Dennis. Mine is more on the drum side, like the writing side at that point, but like we write the music, but you know, the bulk is kind of there. And then you put touch and you listen. And on our last album, like the second a lead guitar, like Dennis left the band and moved to Toronto. Mm-hmm. Hey, Dennis, if you're listening, we love you. Duck Neck. You know, and then all of a sudden you're in a trio. Holy shit, that changes the whole ball game. Mm-hmm. And then we really switched over there too, in the sense like Pat took over more of the singing. He wanted to do some singing. We all felt that was cool. Brought in a lot of the songs. We worked some of the grooves. And that's basically what we do now. And we go to our boiler room and we play and we talk. We'll play, and it's like, we like the democratic approach, meaning, okay, you got an idea before we, like, so someone's got an idea. I could be like, no. Or we could be, well, let's fucking try that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play it. Maybe we're going to record it. Maybe we're going to listen to it. And
it's
then we're
so
going
cool
to
to talk about this, because the dynamic in a 3-person band, especially in your style of music, it's really cool. You know, there's
awesome.
something about that whole triangle trio of things. As soon as it gets any bigger than that, it's hard to have that type of approach.
Well, some of those ska bands, you know, you're like 8, 9 people, man. Well, 5 of us like it, 4 of us don't. Okay, the 5 win, I guess. But then that creates all this interband shit, you know.
Right.
And then, so with 3, it's like, it's always like this. Sometimes it's unanimous. Sometimes one person's like, well, and 2 are like, well, okay. But it's never like, this is fucking, we try not to operate like that. Yeah. Although you do need like some yes vibe, you know, there's got to be like, yes, I think sometimes you got to be determined, stick to your point. But like, we like to do it in a, you know, non-confrontational thing. We could be cool, stubborn.
Like, it's cool what you're saying, like, you know, like say Andy brings in the frame of the song, then everybody plays inside it. For me, that's pretty much how we operate too. I find that's the most productive way. Yeah, you know what I mean, to start from somewhere. But as a 3-piece, so it's just like, I think there's more possibilities for creativeness when you have one guitar player as opposed to 2 type thing.
The second we were like into a trio, and then it was just one guitar, and we played the songs the old way, like as if there was a 4th guitar, so it didn't work. So it's like, now we're at a point where like, okay, we get it. Pat really worked on his tone. He got the guitar sounds, so it's like he worked on that sound, and we're at the best point where we've ever been, where it sounds like a trio. It's so much fun. Yeah, and you're not writing like, okay, we're going to put in that solo there, you know, or it's different. We got to make it feel good from us 3 before we move ahead. It's like, what's going to optimize this groove? What's going to that? And we borrow from the reggae ska world too, in that sense. Like, we want it to feel good. We want it to feel dancey. We want it to feel something, you know? And that's what I mean. The writing process evolves. It's like, now we're writing at a point, like we said the other day, we're like, shit, what if we really write the album like ground up, you know, where we don't have lyrics and we don't necessarily have the room, we're really jamming more. So we do that. We record ourselves, we go home, we listen to it. Hey, I like that. Cool. Let's put it together. But it's so much fun. That's my favorite thing to do with music. Always has been. Awesome, the creative, the writing. And, you know, how do you hear music? You know, so everyone hears it differently, right? Like K-Man's listen to a tune. Maybe you're going to hear lyrics and guitar first, maybe. Or maybe you're going to hear drums and rhythm. You know, what are you going to feel first? What are you going to hear first? It's different.
Well, remember, in communication, there's 2 sides of communication, right? The side that's sending and the side receiving.
There you go.
And one does not control the other. No matter what you do on the sending side, you can't guarantee how it's going to be perceived or heard, right?
That's it.
It's interesting stuff for sure. Now, you were also playing with the Beatdown, one of our favorite fucking, you know, Canadian reggae bands there are. Fucking, you guys definitely have your own sound and busy as hell. How many albums have you guys made so far?
Well, there was the first Beatdown album. I was not on that, but then I came in shortly thereafter. So I did Walking Proud.
Yeah.
We did a 7-inch that came out. You never know. I think that came out on a Spanish label. And then we did the Beatdown Meets Hugo Muti. And there's another one in the can. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's changed again. It's evolved.
That's the one we're interested in, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So what's up with that? Like, or are you guys just waiting until all this bullshit is done, then decide?
There's a bit of that. I think, you know, Alex had some kids.
Right.
I had a son.
Hey, get some cable TV there, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. Away, Alex. See album.
I love it.
But it fucking changed too, right? Because Joe left the band. So then you're in a situation, and then by offshoot of that, Alex brought in the dub station. So that's kind of where we're focused on. We love playing in this new setup where it's like, I'm there, Alex is there. We kind of do a dub battle. And I love playing with Pascal as well. He's fucking groovy motherfucker. And
absolutely.
It's like 10 years. We're playing with each other 10 years. So like you say, that scene, we're all there. It's beautiful. It's incestuous. Like I said, whatever we play there, but man, there's loyalty in it too. And I do like that aspect of it, man. It's like 10 years. I'm playing with the guy 10 years. It's like,
that's crazy. I didn't realize it was 10 years already.
Don't even talk about stuff. It's just like we talk, you know, you'll have great conversations, then you go play and like, this is like it's like a nice fluffy pair of slippers, man. This is so the good kind, you know, like, yeah.
Well, okay. So before all this success and playing with all these successful bands, I mean successful on a creative and quality measure. I'm not talking about how many people are there, okay? But they are fucking successful bands that play in front of huge crowds, of course. But that's really not my focus. But how did you start out playing drums? Take us back a bit. Like, what got you playing?
Oh, wow. Such a cool question. I would say my family's fairly musical.
Mm-hmm.
So like music was always there on that side. What got me, I mean, my dad was the Campfire. We're around, he's playing BTO, he's playing Nashville Cats, he's playing the Love and Spoonful, all that kind of stuff. And then I think at the Serbian church where I was baptized with my mom, there was a blue drum kit downstairs. I remember seeing it, a blue Sparkle. I was really young. And then at one point I started to want a kit. I told my dad, I'm like, I'm getting a kit. He said, yeah, we'll get you one, even if it's made out of calf skins. That didn't happen. And then, my mom's, no, so fuck it. I said, fuck it. I got a newspaper job. I was delivering the Montreal Gazette, and I bought a red Sparkle Japanese kit for $300. And you know what? I knew you'd ask the question, K-Man, so I'm going to give you an interesting... Oh,
wait, hold it up to the camera. Oh my God, look at that sexy young
There's
guy
my
there.
red Sparkle in the garage, 1990.
Yeah, 1990, eh? Wow, that's 30 years ago.
That's it. So that's kind of where it started. And then fucking, I got into rock. I got into metal. My family was musical. My older sisters, you know my sisters, man. So,
hey, fam.
Hey, fam. You know, music's coming through the walls at this point too, man. Tara's listening to punk rock and Motley Crue. I got Metallica going. Liz had NSYNC at one point, and then moved over to the rock world, you know, and we rocked out. So Metallica, man, Lars, you know, everyone knocks Lars, but fuck it. I'm going to defend Lars right here on K-Man. Don't know shit.
Well, you know what? I do know a little bit about something. One thing I got to say about, Metallica and their drummer Lars, you can be technically great. Okay. And maybe there are some people that can play faster, tighter, follow a click more. But the one thing that he has that a lot of these other metal drummers don't have is that he had vision at the start with the whole new wave of heavy metal coming out of England. Exactly. That's basically on all the smaller bands and up all the way up to Iron Maiden and stuff like this. But he is able to write songs. And he's the one that organized.
He's able to write songs. Exactly. He's able to recognize riffs. He's able to put together all that stuff into this fucking cohesive masterpiece for the first 4 albums, let's say. 5 maybe.
Yeah.
And how many drummers, it's an interesting drum question. It's like drummers, like you read a lot of magazines like, oh, I'm looking for my identity. And it's like my sound. And it's like, I can put Lars Ulrich on the street over there. I'll line up 100 other drummers and you're going to know that's Lars Ulrich. Sorry, you will. Someone's going to say, oh, yeah, it's because he sucks. No, I'm going to say his sound. Listen to his sound. I could tell who that is. I know.
But he also had 2 other things. One is that he played in an unconventional way. Like if you listen to their first video they ever did, which was One, and the drum stuff going on in that, it's memorable. He's writing parts, not just, playing. And the other thing that people tend to forget is when they started, what are they basing it off of? There was nobody like that. He was inventing. Yeah. And that to me is worth more than just, the guy that's the best on a click track.
Oh, dude, it's not even, they're not even on the same scale. 0.
Well, that's it. Close. So here you are, you got your red Sparkle going on. You're a kid in 1990 starting to play drums. Like, did somebody teach you a bit? Did you just play to records? How did you get started on it?
Played to records a lot. So I'd like go down like my mom's house. What a treat. Super supportive. Drums in the basement, fucking metal kit, cymbals everywhere, double bass drum. Saturdays, Sundays were drum days all day. I'd take apart my drums, I'd polish them, put them back together. I'd have buddies from school. 2 Mexican twins used to come over, Alejandro and Jesus, twin brothers. And we'd be like, okay, let's try to play Blackened. And it's like, this is going on. And my mom's upstairs, dude. Like, I'm living in the suburbs and we're trying to play Metallica.
Well, you know what? So, that brings us to one thing. I think we should give a shout out to all the parents that put up
Holy
with their
shit.
kids learning rock and roll in the
Please.
house. Yeah, man. Thank you.
This is not, I'm talking about suburbs, like fucking neighbors that complained once over all the years. You know, I remember my neighbor calling me. He's like, bro, could you not play today? I just got my wisdom teeth pulled out. I'm like, no problem, Petro, no problem. And, you know, but they were super supportive, man. So
You probably played anyway.
yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, no problem, man.
So what was like, okay, so here you are, you're downstairs, you got your red sparkles on, you're playing by yourself, listening to records and stuff. When did you make the skip to playing with other people, and how did that work out?
Oh shit, yeah. It started in the basement, made high school band. I auditioned. They said if you change your attitude and your thing, you can make this the band, because I was a bit of a troublemaker back then. So I fucking auditioned with double bass drums, like I did that for like 2 minutes, and then you're in. The other drummer who auditioned like smashed himself in the eye with his stick, man. So I was listening through the gym doors, and this guy comes out with like his eye was all mangled. I'm like, what happened? He's like, I hit myself in the eye with the stick. And I remember that nervousness. I'm like, and then I'm like, I think I made the band. So high school band, that was great. And then it morphed. And then I went to Seattle to my dad's, who's a musician. We built a drum-proof shed. I practiced all day. And then I came to music school. And that's kind of where it started. I joined General Rudy. And then Lorraine came and said, hey, would you like to play with my band? And that's kind of like the ska scene is kind of my real intro into playing in bands and with people. And starting.
Right. That
so
makes
like
sense.
that was the real thing. Other than that, like, you know, there's always like little jams and shit, but like really playing in a band and getting in a van and going to a show. Yeah, that was my real time.
So you got your fundamentals down in music school.
I did. Like before that, I was self-taught. So like I played for like 3-4 years by myself. Like I'm going to figure out this today. It's slow down albums. You know, I think every drummer, maybe musician, I don't know how it is in guitar world all the time, but drum world.
Yeah, we don't worry about playing the right notes.
Yeah, exactly. Who gives a shit? So it's just like learn parts myself. And then I started taking lessons with this teacher in Montreal, this guy Aldo, and I saw he was in the Drummers Collective in New York. So then I'm like, oh, maybe I'm going to go there. And my mom was like, New York, you know, 18. So then that's it. I went to my dad. I went to college, dropped out. I said, fuck this. This is not what I want to do. Took some time away, worked, and then went to my dad's, practiced every day. Had some lessons at that time, but then once I got to music school, it was different. And then I started more with bands and with people. And although I did have a band with my dad, that was my first real band, 5 Stories High.
Oh wow,
that's what it was called.
With your dad.
With my dad. Yeah.
That's amazing. You know why I'm saying that's amazing, right? Because I can relate to that.
Of course you can. Yeah. So, and those are great memoirs, like playing shows with my dad. He'd have like this, he'd play keys at that time, and he'd have like a jogging suit of like a keyboard, like this super cheesy thing. His buddy Bill was next to me smoking medical. Mikey, you had some of this medical, man? I'm like, medical? What do you mean? Oh, shit. And then the garage door opened and we're playing at a Halloween show. And my dad's there. I mean, this is fucking epic for me, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
so
then
when
ska. And then ska.
Yeah, man. Then you get into school and you're learning. For a drummer, okay, I want to get into it a little bit now.
Yeah,
all right?
Sure, man.
For a drummer, what are some of the first things you believe every drummer should learn, or how should they start learning? Like what are the fundamentals they should try to get down or figure out at the start to make their life easier in the future? Like
physical stuff?
Yes, like physical beats, rhythms, hi-hats, snares, whatever it is. Because I think, you know, a lot of people that do start out listening to records, it is a great way to start out. But I have a feeling a lot of people would save a lot of time with a couple of little fundamentals at the start, right?
I think so. But I think for me, what worked, man, is listening to all the stuff. And then not just being a metalhead, because that's what turned me. Absorb everything you can. Listen to the ska, listen to the reggae, listen to some metal, listen to this. If you don't like it, just be like, okay, cool. And if you like it, you take what you can. So, and listening, man. I was like, shit, is the drummer just doing this cool fill to be cool? Or is he reacting to somebody? Or is this, so like listening, that's one. But you don't know that when you're 20 because you're full of energy and you want to impress people and you, come on, go. And you have this energy and you got to go. So you got to pass through that anyway.
Don't you love the 20s? That's where you think sex is like a race and you try to come first.
That's it, man. You know, and then you're 40 and you're like, fuck, I want to start the car, man. I just got to start the car. Nah, I'm kidding.
Fuck yeah, man. I love you, brother. Wait, cheers. Wait.
Where's the car, man? Where's the car? Oh shit!
Fuck, it just got towed.
God, shit, car's gone, man. But that's it. Listening, absorbing, man. Absorb all that shit. And then the physical stuff, like, yeah, for sure. Like, you're gonna learn rudiments. On guitar, you have your chords and all your stuff.
What are the rudiments in drums?
Well, like single stroke rolls,
Okay.
Right lefts. You're gonna learn, like, every drummer is gonna pass through that kind of stuff, the fundamentals and the book stuff and the paradiddles and these drum world talks.
I remember paradiddles. Isn't that like pop 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 pop?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, right?
Yeah, like right left. Build that up, things like that. But like,
yeah,
or when you're playing in a ska band, you're gonna, like, how useful is that? Wow, man, that guy, look, the band's like, like, so listening's gonna tell you, like, well, fuck, do I really need to play that? No, like, so you're having these brain things. So your brain's going, hey, man, maybe throw in that cool lick, man. You got, yeah. And the other part of your brain's like, yeah, do you really need that? But it takes the time to realize what the hell's going on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're young and shit, you want to sometimes throw out all the stuff you're practicing, but then you go out and play a gig and no one really gives a fuck drumistically.
Yeah.
Unless, they want it to feel good. So, and that's where listening in, because that's where sometimes it's going to cement, it's going to make sense,
Okay. So
it's
you're
like
doing
it's like a Bruce Lee thing. It's like, yeah, you have the claws. Do you need them all the fucking time? Do I have to show you everything? Can I just have that knowledge? And ska and reggae, really, there's a restraint to it that I love, and it's hard to just groove and not do shit. It's almost, it's harder to do that. It's so harder.
Absolutely.
And how do you get there? Listening. So, like, all the technical stuff is great. I love it. I'm a drum geek. We could talk about that for days, but at the end of the day, that feel, that's what I'm going for. That's one of my favorite,
favorite things in music. And I try to explain this to drummers all the time, especially drummers usually that are really good and sometimes do a lot of fills or are constantly on, like always trying to do something. That one of my favorite things in music is when there's a band change with zero drum change, and it just kind of steps. Ooh. It's got but that still goes. That to me is one of the coolest things that can happen in a song. I'm not saying to play like that all the time or anything like that.
For sure.
But man, I love when a change goes unchanged on the drums. It just gives it this impact thing. It's like the whole music, because the rhythm's staying the same and it's going, but then the music is going like this, but the rhythm's still the same, I fucking love it when that happens. And like, I was listening to one of the old Marley albums where I think he has two drummers, or at least one drummer and a hand drummer as well. But neither of them, you don't hear one cymbal the whole freaking song.
I know.
Like, people are overplaying cymbals, I find, a lot.
You're 100% right. I'm guilty of it. It's been a conscious thing of mine to try to chill out on there. And it's yeah, you're 100% right. All drummers are guilty. It's like, fuck, I got to change we're going to hit everyone. And wow, holy shit. How do you not do that?
Well, that's it, right? And it's so cool. It makes the music sound tough. I mean, James Brown is another, example. Sometimes they'll do that where the drum is a straight line. So, I mean, here we are talking about Bob Marley and James Brown. What two bands, groove or musically, are more together than them? They're on the top of the top, both of them.
That's top of the top right there.
And you listen to the drums and they're a fucking line drive.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And both those bands really affected me a lot. No matter what style of music I'm playing. If I'm playing punk rock, they've still affected me a lot.
Yeah. You're damn right.
So I often try to give this message to drummers I'm working with. I'm not saying that I don't ever want you to do anything else, but to keep that in mind, that sometimes I like to do that, because I always find as a songwriter, working with a drummer in communication is so important because it changes everything, and especially on a cool level. I'm not even talking music, but on a cool level, because it makes a difference. If I'm writing a song this way, it really does change the entire song, the way the drums are played on it. You know, I'm not talking just the rhythm either.
No, but you're right. It's such a good point. That would be a great point for drummers, myself included, everyone, musician, whatever. It's like, I remember a drummer, he did a clinic. I think it was Omar Hakim, really like a famous drummer. Someone asked him like how he warmed up, and it was like, I play a groove for 15 minutes. And then he did an example at this clinic where he's like, and it was so funny and really effective, like poignant. He's playing the groove and he's talking to his drummer. He's like, yeah, you know, you want me to hit the crash cymbal right here, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not. Oh, he goes, but I'm not. And he kept playing this thing. After about 4 minutes or 3 minutes or even maybe 2 minutes, you're moving. You're moving. But drum brain gets you sometimes, right? It's like, oh, fuck, I'm going to hit the cymbal. Like, but no.
Yeah.
What if I don't hit the cymbal? What if I don't do that roll?
I'll tell you what
So how do you navigate that craziness? And it's like,
as a fan of drums, the what if that you're talking about is, okay, if I don't do it, and what if I do hit it? Well, you go 2 minutes, but then the moment that you do hit it, man, it's going to stand out like crazy, right? And
absolutely,
that's the what if.
Absolutely. And then sometimes too, and yeah, 100%. And then sometimes too, it's like you could be watching the drum and you feel that he's thinking that.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, just feel the groove, and you know, fucking, I'm gonna hit. Like, so that's what I realized as I get older. It's like, shit, you could feel all that intent. It's not just fucking notes on a page. Intent, man. What's your intent here? That's tricky to navigate. I think that's the beautiful fucking the world, the drum world, the music world, whatever. You know, it's like, oh shit.
Absolutely.
Okay. Where's my intent here on this song? Where's my drive? You're good. I love watching you live. I feel like that. So I get your James Brown approach, because when you're playing, it's like there, and I like that. And
you don't want James Brown to turn around and point to you. Everybody thinks it's hot and they usually clap, but what he's really doing is he's finding you.
He's finding you $5 per mistake, or was it 20? I don't even know.
I can't remember exactly, but whenever he points and the crowd goes crazy, they're like, "Oh, that's hot!" No.
No. $5 in 1960 is a lot of change, man. It's like, no.
I was saying the other day that my favorite show, I was put on the spot, and I had to say what my favorite show was. It was James Brown on St. Catherine Street for free outside. Me and Stu were right up front there. Best show I have of my life. It was fucking amazing.
Wow. I remember reading. I remember reading about that.
I'm just taking a sip of this whiskey, and I just had a flashback, bro. You're with me. You were subbing in on a weekend of tour up in Gaspé, okay, in northern Quebec. And when I think of you, I've told this story to many people since then, okay? But one of my favorite Mike G stories of all time is this. Here we are loading out of the venue. Mike's got his snare drum here, and he sees these girls or these people sitting down with a whole tray of shots. So he looks at the shots, takes a snare, hands it to the person. So her hands are busy now because she's holding the snare. Then he takes their shots, then takes the snare, and we walk out. And that's how we left that club, man.
I knew what you were getting at. Do you remember that show? Do you remember that? I remember that show vividly. I'll tell you why.
Yes, I do, because of AC/DC.
Because it was Les Talons Jaunes or something. It's like that small, and we get there and this fucking AC/DC blasting.
That's right.
Like the live album, live in Melbourne.
They had just got it. They got the live album that day, and all they want to do was listen to AC/DC
Listen
live.
AC/DC.
They didn't give a fuck about us.
All of a sudden, like, so then it's like, okay, jouer maintenant, and AC/DC comes off, and then fucking what happens? They're like, quoi ça? See? And then there was like, they're just waiting for fucking AC/DC. They were,
I remember because Patty Taylor, after our set, went to put on the Aggrolites, and then somebody just walked over and wiped it right off and put back on AC/DC.
Those shows are hysterical. Every band's been through those, right, man?
Fuck yeah, but that's definitely one that I won't forget for that. That's for sure, man. It's fucking hilarious. What's that?
Yeah. No, I was saying, by the same token, when you have those great ska shows where everyone's there and they're ready to dance, you're like, this is the best thing ever.
No shit. But
it's like built in.
You wouldn't realize how great those moments are without the other moments. You know, you would just think that's how it always is. So to really feel good, and this goes for almost anything in life, you need to have the smooth and the crunchy, you know?
You're going to pass by those shows, you know, all the young musicians. Like, you got to be flexible. So that's the other thing. Be flexible.
Yeah.
Drummers, or drummers music, they think they're hot shit, and then they get on tour. Man, I've seen so many people that can't hack it. Not because they're not good musicians. It's just like, fuck, one night you might sleep on the floor. Next night's a hotel because you got a good deal. Then you're in an 8 hours in a van. Man, if you could be flexible and mind that, but you're going to pass through that. Fuck, not everyone's you too, right?
Well, that's where you separate the dogs from the pups, and I'm a dog.
There's a dog.
Yeah, man.
K-Man's
Absolutely.
a dog.
What is it? If you want to run with the dogs, you can't pee like a pup. And that's pretty much how I run the band, you know?
Go.
Well, fuck yeah, man. I mean, you're talking about sleeping on floors and fucking cat piss everywhere. Thank you for giving us a place to stay for free, but man, I can't sleep in cat piss, you know?
I knew one turning point where I'm like, I got experience here is when I played a show in Buffalo with the Beatdown. And it's just like, play the show, whatever. Cool. And it's like storming, and we go to this guy's house, the promoter, and he's like, yeah, you guys could stay at my place. We go upstairs. The heating was like on 40, and he had like 4 cat litters full of cat shit.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
So I called the place Cat Shit Sauna. The second I got right in there, I'm like, I'm going to sleep in the van. When you choose van over lodging, you're like, okay. And that's okay. And you're going to have those van sleeps. And it's pouring rain. I think Pascal joined me, or I don't remember who, maybe it was Joe. And then Alex was like, yeah, fuck, man, I was sleeping. And there was like a centipede and like all this cat. I could not. So, I chose van, man.
Dude, there's so many times I've chosen the van as well for many reasons, including coming down. You know what I mean? Like,
that's it.
There's lots of reasons to sleep in a van. That's for sure. Yeah.
I live in a van.
Down by the river.
Hey, I'm going to go. I need to get a drink here. Can I refill shortly?
Got this one. It said, no problem, man. All right, so here we go with the plain packaging. What? How much THC did we say was in this?
21.
22.9. Geez, just to give you an idea, the normal range I find is between like 8 and 17 is a really strong one. But let's check it out. Legal weed rules.
That was not medical though.
No, but it'll get you high.
Self-medication.
That's fun. Rock on, people.
I'm asking all my guests to do these days is I want 1 guilty pleasure and 3 albums that everybody should listen to.
Oh my God.
On the spot,
tough.
brother. Yeah, man. The reason I started doing this is that one of the great things about music is sharing music, right?
Damn right. I mean, January has been my Rush month, so I'm gonna say Rush 2112.
Something like that, anyway.
Dystopian future, discovering an instrument, opera. I like it. It's good for the winter months. So Rush 2112. You need some jazz in there. You got it for those days, Kind of Blue, Miles Davis, too obvious, but
I just got a vinyl of Thelonious Monk solo. Man, my favorite jazz I think out there.
Oh, it's phenomenal. Is that the one where he's in like a pilot costume on the cover, like with the
yeah, it's like blue and white, I think. Yeah, or
so
brown.
Good.
I can't remember. I just said blue, white, or brown. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably one. You should check out his cover for Underground is the best. What else? I don't know. Also, Fela Kuti. I just got into his drummer. Anything by Fela Kuti right now with Tony Allen on drums. Oof. I came to the party late to Tony Allen, but this guy's a loose, tight rhythm machine that you'll love it. You say James Brown and it's amazing.
Hey, you can't say James Brown. You got to say James Brown.
James Brown. Let's talk about music.
It. Yeah, man. James, and guilty pleasure. You're in your car. You're on the highway. Nobody else in the car. An album that you enjoy that people wouldn't believe.
Oh my God. I have the, so that's the other side of my youth is the fucking 92.5 FM in my mom's. I got a whole drive playlist of 1980s sentimental ballads. I'm talking Eternal Flame by the Bangles. I'm talking Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper.
Hey, that's a good song. Don't diss it.
No, it's not a diss.
Time.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like, would I blast it? You know what? I would blast it. What else is on there? Drive by the Cars. I got Alone by Heart. How do I get you Alone by Heart? That's a guilty pleasure. I fucking blast that shit and I sing.
So basically, I just understood that you have a whole side of guilty pleasures. I love it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man.
It stops at Michael Bolton and Celine Dion probably.
Together.
Yeah.
Imagine the babies they would have.
Oh my God. Michael Dion, fuck. Michelle Dion Bolton.
Of course, he would have her family name after the wedding too, right?
That's right. Michelle Bolton Dion.
That's it, Misty. Mike, I fucking love you, my brother.
Okay, man. Don't know shit. Could you?
I'll see you real soon, man. And by the way, I just remembered it's your round next time we see each other at the pub.
I got you. As long as you hold my drum seat, I got you covered, man.
Nice. He believed me. Peace out, guys.
Love you,
Stay
man.
cool.
Woo!
Boom. Okay, man, don't know shit.
I might not know shit, but